During Prohibition, the manufacture, transport, import, export, and sale of alcoholic beverages was illegal. For each legitimate saloon that was closed because of the new law, a half a dozen underground places sprung up. These speakeasies were one of the many ways that people during the 1920s and early 1930s obtained illegal alcohol. By the middle of the decade, there were thought to be 100,000 speakeasies in New York City alone. Many people also kept private bars to serve their guests. Large quantities of alcohol were smuggled from Canada, overland and via the Great Lakes. Legal and illegal home brewing was very popular. Whiskey could be obtained by prescription from medical doctors for medicinal purposes, and any other uses were illegal. But even so, doctors freely wrote prescriptions and drugstores filled them out without question. And because Prohibition only banned the manufacturing, sale, and transport, but not the possession or consumption of alcohol, people and institutions who bought and made liquor prior to the passage of the 18th Amendment were able to continue to serve it throughout the Prohibition period legally. Even prominent citizens and politicians later admitted to having used alcohol during Prohibition. President Harding kept the White House well stocked with bootleg liquor, though as a senator he had voted for Prohibition.
You know, there were bootleggers on almost every block, it seemed. They made it in their own homes, in their garages, and even had underground conduits that went under the street from one barn, as we called them back in those days, rather than garages, to another barn across the street. And the barn across the street is where they had the trucks and wagons that came to pick up the 5-gallon cans of whiskey. And it was a common sight for everybody, you know. And as a youngster, you would see these things. You would see the operation on a regular basis. And occasionally there would be a police raid where they would go into these barns and throw the cans of moonshine out into the alley and break them open and let it spill on the ground. Everybody would come running around with cups and pans and pick some up and run back home with it.
In 1933, the legislators of the states ratified the 21st Amendment. This repealed the 18th Amendment. The 18th Amendment was the first and only amendment in U.S. history to ever be repealed from the U.S. Constitution. However, this allowed prohibition to continue within state jurisdictions. By 1966, all states had fully repealed their state-level prohibition laws.
Prohibition's great vice was that it taught America disrespect for the law. I feel, without exaggeration, that much of the crime in America stems from the Prohibition era, that it taught many people disrespect, and it taught many people that the pursuit of crime created careers, very profitable careers.